Welcome back to Riding Bikes in San Diego. We're in that bike lane over on Waring that starts up after a gap in the bike lane from Navajo to Princess View. We're after Princess View now, which is nice. It's good to be in a bike lane. I wanted to show you a few gaps in the bike lane though, because here's the thing, this is a residential neighborhood, but I don't live here. So I'm going to get to the end of this bike lane and I need to get somewhere. And, um, I'm going to go where I have to go to get where I need to be. So we get up to this traffic light here, and I only have a few options to get where I'm going. I could turn on Zion there, which doesn't really have a bike lane. It has a bike gutter, but it's inconsistent, and I know for a fact that on this particular day there's construction obstructing Zion from on the other side of Mission Gorge. So I want to get around that, but I need y'all really look over here and tell me with a straight face that there's no room for a bike lane. Tell me that these restaurants all with parking spots and this shopping center with its own dedicated parking lot. You know what? Let me move that thing for you. You're telling me that this dedicated parking lot is not adequate enough, that what I'm riding in right now needs to be parking? Come on. This could be a bike lane. This should be a bike lane. Anybody on a bike might want to stop at one of those places. But instead, we got to go around parking over here. It's a freaking joke. Okay? It's so unnecessary that part of the street is parking. We're cutting through the neighborhood now because if I stay on Waring, that's just a whole other nightmare going down that hill. I've done it before. I don't feel like doing it on this day. So I'm just going to cut through this neighborhood. And anybody who's going to give me a hard time about going through the stop signs here, there's nobody around. If you're not going to give me proper infrastructure, you can't demand that I go some other way and then act like I'm driving a car. I'm not driving a car. Also, there's a car on my back. There's a driver back there. I imagine they want to get around me, and they're going to get around me. But even in this residential area, which frankly, this is no different than Waring. Okay, like it's houses on the sides, people who live here. This driver wants to get around me, so I get pinched between the parked cars, and this is nonsense. But it's a quiet residential street. I don't mind it. There's a really cool hill that I'm going to show you in a second. So I just need to wait for another driver to get around me. Yep, there we go. They got to go on to the other side of the road. If there was anybody coming from the other direction, possible conflicts, but whatever. There's no place else for us to go. So, this is it. We're now going to take Twain here, which is actually a beautiful view when we get over to it. My buddy happens to be riding up the hill, which is a beast, so we say hey to each other real fast. The thing is, folks, like, we need routes, and to get routes we need bike lanes, and in most cases to get bike lanes we need to get rid of parking. You as a driver are not entitled to all the public space just to store your vehicle. I'm turning on Mission Gorge here because there's space. Are you really going to look over here and tell me with a straight face that there's no room for a bike lane? That curb's red. Then there's a curb cut. That curb is red. Look at how wide this is. Are you really looking at this video and telling me that those two cars needed those spaces? They're parking lot. I'm riding alongside parking lots. This is just absurd. It's absurd that going from the heavily residential area of Allied Gardens down into Grantville, and I am riding towards a trolley station, that these are the conditions. You're really telling me with a straight face that all this red curb can't have a bike lane painted over here also? Come on. This is what we call a strode. It should be a street that people are using to get places, but it's more like a road where people don't stop and they go higher speeds, and it's just not safe. people need to use this. People need to get here. And don't tell me to take Fairmount, over to the right on the other side of this parking lot, car dealership, because that doesn't have a bike lane either. And there's no road to the left that has a bike lane either. I don't like the fact that I'm relegated to one road as it is when there is a bike lane. I should have options, the same as all these drivers have options. But if you're like, hey, a lot of drivers are driving here, there's no room for bikes, guess what? People on the bikes need to take the same route. That's often the route that goes to the place people need to go. So we're going to sit behind this van for a second, wait for this light to turn, think about where we can actually ride safely while we drive less and ride a bike. Thanks.